Okay. Are you able to see my screen now?
Not as yet.
Okay. Leah, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Can you see BioTime?
Yes, I can see the looking part.
Okay. Osiho, can you see it now?
Yes, it just popped up now.
Okay, not a problem then. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I will just quickly explain what BioTime software is, and then we can start with the installation side. Okay, so
Okay.
BioTime is a time and attendance software. It is web-based, and by web-based, I mean that if, for example, you have, let's say, a company, right? And you install the software on a server, then if you have employees like HR or any other employee that you would like to maybe log in, or that you would like them to log into the software using their own PCs, they can still log in using the server's IP and the port that you would have selected when installing the software. Okay, so that is what we call web-based. And another thing is that the software can also work in a case where you have different sites in different locations, where, for example, you have, let's say you have a server in here in Centurion, and you have another company in Johannesburg where the network is different. Okay, so what you can do is you need to enable the public IP on the server, and you do your port forwarding. Then you will be able to link your server with the devices that are on a different location or different network. Okay, so BioTime can do that. And as I said, it's time and attendance. It has a module where it's access control, and that module is basic. So it has basic access control options on the software. So if you would like to integrate the devices that you're using for time and attendance on the access module, you can still do that. Okay. So this software comes with a license. The license that comes with the software is a permanent license, and you need to purchase the license in a case where you're using 3 devices and more. So if you are going to use or add the 1 or 2 devices on the software, you will get the license for free. But that license, you need to get it from your distributor or where you bought the devices from, okay? Which will be a free license. So you don't have to renew the license each and every year, okay? So I'm going to go to our website where you can get the software from. I will go to our South African website, ZKTeco.co.za. Okay, so on our website currently we have version 9.0.1. Okay, so what you do is when you're on our website, you go to software, and then you go straight to your BioTime software. Okay, this is where you get the installation package from. Okay, then you have your option to download, so you can download the software to your PC. Okay, don't know if I do have an installation. I think I do have an installation package, so I'm not going to download now. I will just show you how to install the software. So this is where you will download the software. Then I will go to the installation package so that I can show you how to do so. Okay. So you will get, after downloading, you will get your installation package under downloads. Then let me just quickly scroll down to my installation package. Okay, so my installation package is here, right? So this is an installation package. So what you do is you have to run this as administrator. So you right click on it and then run as admin. So I already have a software installed on my PC, but I'm going to quickly take you through on what steps you need to take. Then you click on OK. So it's quite simple and straightforward to install the software on your PC. So the first thing will be you need to agree. You can read this license or end user licenses if you want to read and understand what is written there, but you need to click on all these options and agree, okay? Then the next thing will be you need to, the web-based attendance software. This is where your software will be, your software package will be installed on your C drive. So the folder will be on your C drive. So you can still select where you want your software to be. Then you click on next. Then here you will select the service port, okay? So that your service port doesn't necessarily have to be 80. That is the default port that we're using. So you can select the port that is opened on your side. It can be 80, 81, it can be any port that is opened on your side, you can change here, okay? Then you have to add firewall exception. So this is to prevent software not opening if, for example, your firewall is on. So you need to make an exception to your firewall and something like antivirus, because they do block the communication between the software and the devices. Sometimes you won't be able to open the software if you did not click on this small box here. Okay, then you click on your next option. So it is saying that the port is unavailable because I've already installed this software, okay? So I'm just going to select a different port, let's say 8081, okay? And then click on next. Then the next thing will be selecting your database, the database that you're going to use, okay? So you can select if you're going to use the default database, which is the Postgres SQL, or you can link with your own SQL database. So if you're going to link the database with your own, you need to make sure that you know the credentials, which will be your passwords for your SQL database, okay? So if, for example, you would like to link it with another database, you can cancel here, click on other database, and select which one you're going to use. So let's say, for example, you click this one. You need to know your username, your database name, your password. All these credentials should be filled in. Then you test for connection and see if the connection was successful. So if it is successful, then you will click on post, and then your database will be saved on your SQL database. Which means that, let's say, for example, you have an issue with restoring your database on the or on another PC, or if you would like to move your software to another PC, you should be able to know, to remember these credentials, okay? So that you will be able to restore your database. Very important, okay? So if you would like to use the default database, you will go back to the default database and then you click on post and then you click on next, okay? Then you will be able to select now where your database backup will be saved. So you can select this one, which is the default one, or you can still browse and select the folder that you want, okay? Then you click on next. So this is where you're going to now install. This is the final step of your installation. You click on install, and then the software will be installed on your PC, okay? So as I said, I've already installed the software on my PC, so I'm not going to click on install. I just wanted to show you how you install your software, okay? Do you have any questions with regards to the installation, or is there anything else that you would like me to explain?
So far so good, but
Okay.
I was only confused about the term port forwarding, like when you want to browse from another, let's say another branch.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the only confusion that I got.
Okay, but with the public IP, do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so with the port forwarding, I'm not too good with IT, I won't lie to you, but what I know is with the port, right? Let's say, for example, you have your public IP as let's say 10.0.20.19, right? So what the IT people do is they should also get a port that will work, or they will open a port that will work when you're on a different site. Okay, do you understand that one? So it will be the same port as the one that you select here. Let's say, for example, you have your 8081 here. So this is what I'm talking about.
Okay, so we mostly have to rely on the IT for that certain organization that we are installing for to provide us with the public IP and then
the port. Yes, in case you do not know how to create a public IP or how to do a public IP, then you should have an IT guy who is good with that.
Noted.
Yes. Okay. Then other than the port, do you understand everything?
Yes, very much clear.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I will go to the software now. I'm just going to cancel this one. Yes, okay. So I will go to my software now. So this is how BioTime login page looks like. Okay, so in a case where you are logging in for the very first time, what you will do is when you open this page, it will give you a small page where you have to put in your username, your password, and your email address. Okay, so you need to fill that in, and then those are the credentials, or the credentials that you're going to use to log into the software. Okay. And please do not forget that if you forget your credentials, then you have to call the support department to reset your passwords. Okay. So on this page, you will be able to see that we have admin log. This is where you can be able to log into the software. And on the other side, you have your I. Okay. So on the I, which is the information, this is where it will take you to the page where you can activate your license. So as I said initially, this software comes with a license. If you are using two or one device, then your license will be free. If you are using 3 or more, then you need to purchase a license for the software. Okay. So the license will come in packages. It comes in packages of 5, and then you can add 10 devices. So it depends on the number of devices that you're going to add on the software. And the software also comes with what we call an app that you can link to your phone. People can still clock in and clock out using their phones on the BioTime app. Okay, and this also comes with a license. So if you would like your to add app licenses on your software, you need to purchase that. Otherwise, if you are using a trial license or a free license, they will give you 2 apps for free. Okay, which means that you need to add more if you want more. Then as you can see here, my software is not a permanent software, because you can see the authorized date and the expiry date, and you can see that it's a trial version. So in a case where you did activate your license, you will have your customer code with numbers there. Though that or the number that you will be able to see there will be your license code. Okay, so if anything happens to your software and we require your license code, you can go and open your software and you can give us that code. We can refresh the license for you. Okay. Then the other thing is when you activate a license, right, they will provide an online license to you. So when they provide the online license, you should be able to know that it's an XML document that ends with a -SN. Then you know that, okay, Oseho, you have a question?
Yes, please, before we go any further,
Yes.
I wanted to understand about the app.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have to install the application on my phone again.
Yeah, so with the app, you need to install the application on your phone, okay? Which is
Okay.
not this one. It's not this installation, like the installation that I was showing you. We have the app that is basically for the phones. You can get it from the Play Store app. Then you can download it and install it from there.
What's it called?
It's called BioTime. And if you go ZK BioTime on the Play Store, you will get something like, hold on. Let me show you. I think I have a just want to show you a picture. I think I do have something like, okay, ZK BioTime app. Okay. Okay. So when you go to the Play Store, right? If you put in ZK BioTime, you will have an app that shows this symbol here. Can you see this symbol? Then you know it is the right app to download. Yes. So this is the Android app that you need to install on your phone if you have your app activated. Okay.
Noted.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I move on? Do you have any other question?
No, that was it.
Okay. So I was still on the online activation. So the online activation file will be an XML file. That is the file that you need to activate on your software. So when you activate the license, what you do is you go to the online activation, then it will require your username and the password. So these are the credentials that you created when creating your username and your password. Then you click on confirm, and then it will take you to this page where you have to fill in the company details. Okay. Then after filling in everything here, you need to go to your choose file, and then you can select the license that you would like to activate. Okay, so as I said, it will be an XML file that ends with a -sn. So if you see here, I think I do have an example. I'm not going to activate this one, just want to show you. Okay. Okay, the one that is at the bottom. If you can see there, it's written the company name, which is Security Mail, for example, and then it gives you the device limit, and it also ends with a -sn. Okay, this is an online license. Okay, so you can just upload it there, for example, and then it will show you how it looks like. Then you click on active, okay, to activate the license. So in a case where, for example, this license doesn't work, right, or it gives you errors, so what you do is you can download what we call a UPK. So I'm going to cancel this. You download a UPK. So that UPK that you will download requires this license, the online license. So you will download it. You click on download. You click on your username and the password, confirm, and then you need to fill in again this information, and you upload that online license again. When you click on generate, it's going to generate a UPK file. That UPK file, you need to send it to us or your distributor. Okay, then we will be able to generate an offline license for you. Then you will have to try your offline license if the online license is not working. So the offline license will only work if you have generated the UPK, send it to us, and then we can give you the offline license. Okay. And then after that, what you can do is, let's say, for example, you would like to migrate your software from a PC or a server to another PC. So what you do is when you want to migrate, you can install the same package of the software on the other PC, and then you can also restore the database, okay? If you've done your backup on the database, then with the license part, you just have to send it to us so that we can refresh it for you. Then you can activate it on the other PC. Because remember, one license is for one PC, okay? So you cannot use one license on another PC, which means that if you would like to activate the license that was created and installed on this PC, if you want to use it on another PC, it's going to give you errors because it's already installed or already activated. Okay, so you need to give us the license code so that we can refresh it for you. Then you can be able to activate it on the other PC. Okay. Then you have your finger driver, palm driver. In case where, for example, you have a ZK9500 or a take-on reader, USB enrollment device that you would like to use with the fingerprint, okay? If the fingerprint doesn't work, then you can download your fingerprint driver from here, try to install them, and then they should be able to work, okay? So this is only if your fingerprints or your fingerprint sensor is not working. ZK9500 or SLK20 or any other take-on reader that is a ZKTeco product. Okay, so any other questions on this page?
This one, don't have any questions. I was just confused on the UPK, but as you moved on, it was clear.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so we can go on. Okay, so with this one here, this is where you can select the language that you prefer, okay? So you only have these languages available and nothing else, okay? Okay, and in a case where, for example, you would like to log in using your fingerprint, you should have that take-on reader, either ZK9500 or SLK20. You plug it in on your PC via USB cable, and then you can log in with your fingerprint instead of your password, okay? So I am going to log in now. Okay. So this is the dashboard of BioTime, okay? So when you log into your BioTime software, this is what you're going to see. You will be able to see the modules that comes with the software. You'll have your personnel module, your device, your attendance, access system. So we have other modules like visitor module that you need to add on your license, okay? It doesn't come standard. You need to add it on your license and you need to pay for that module, okay? So here on the dashboard, you will be able to see your two pie charts. The first one represents the employees. So it will show you the present employees and absent employees in percentage and number in case where you have added your employees, okay? And then the device status will give you if the device is online, offline, or unauthorized. Okay, so I will explain this as we move forward with regards to the unauthorized state, offline, and the online state. And then on the right-hand side, you have a real-time monitor wherein you will be able to see who clocked in on the device, who clocked out in a case where there is a device that is linked or connected to the software, okay? So if I can punch a finger on a device that is connected now, you will be able to see that, okay, this person clocked in at this time. Okay. Then you have your department attendance statistics. So with regards to this one, it will show you the number of departments that you have and from that department who has attended and who is absent. So if there's no one who attended, you won't be able to see anything like this. So if there's a person who is present at work, if it is a live system that is working each and every day, or people are clocking in and clocking out, you should be able to see from here. Okay, then we have our monthly summary. So it will show you the total worked hours and the total overtime. So this is if you did set up your timetables and you did set up your attendance module. And with the to-do list, this is with regards to, let's say, for example, someone applied leave and you do have a workflow wherein people have to approve or disapprove, then you will have the list that needs to be done. So this will be a list that is directed to an admin or an HR that, okay, you need to approve a person who has applied for leave for this day. So it will just be a list of information that they need to approve. Okay, so the first thing that we need to start with here is the personnel module. Okay, so under the personnel module, this is where you'll be able to, it's actually building your, or I would say the architecture of your company, starting from the department, going to the positions and the areas, okay? So we will start with the department. So this is how you're going to organize your company. So with the departments, you are going to, if you have, for example, a company that has 2 departments, you will only add 2 departments. So this will vary according to the company. So if you go to department, for example, right, it's very straightforward. It will give you options to add, delete, import, or personnel transfer. So if you would like to add a department, you will click on add. And note that we have the first department there. When you log in for the very first time, you will see when you go to department, we have the first department that is a default department. Okay, so this department here cannot be deleted. If you try and delete it, it will show you that it is a default department that cannot be removed. So it means that each and every person that will be added, maybe you link your device to the software and people are being transferred to the device, from the device to the software, all those people will fall under the default department. So you can still rename this department if you would like to. Okay, so if you go there and edit, you can still change this department and name it according to what you want, but you cannot delete it. Okay, then from there you can add more departments by clicking on add, and then the software will give you the next highest code, and then you can say, for example, let's say warehouse. Okay, and then you can select the superior. If there's a department that is superior to the warehouse, then you can select it. If there's none, it's not compulsory for you to do so. And then you have your department manager, so which means that this should be added after adding your employees. Okay, then you click on confirm and you have your warehouse department there. Okay, so it means that if you've already added your departments, when you go to add your employees or employees profile on the software, you have options to select which department that employee falls under. Okay, which I'm going to show you. So from the same department page, you can delete a department if you do not want. You just select the department and click on delete. It will be removed. You can import. Let's say, for example, you have an Excel spreadsheet with the department code and the department name. You can still link or import your information to the software. Okay. Then you have your personnel transfer, wherein you can move people from one department to another. So if you would like to move a person, let's say you would like to move an employee from another department to maybe the warehouse, okay? You click on the warehouse, go to personnel transfer. So just because I've already added some of the people there, you can select, I'm just going to select one person, for example, and then you click on confirm, which means that that person is going to be moved to the department that you have selected. Okay, so you can see now that on the warehouse, I've added 1% from the department. Okay. Then you have your this arrow there. So this is an export arrow. You have 4 formats to export the information. So these are the 4 formats that you will use throughout BioTime, whether you are on your reports or any other thing. So we have CSV, PDF, Excel, and your TXT format. Okay, so with adding your departments, do you have any questions?
With departments, it's okay. It's
It's
something
okay.
that I've done before, yeah.
All right, so let's move on. With the position, I'm not even going to dwell much on that, okay? Because you can decide if you would like to add your positions or not. This is not compulsory at all, okay? So the same thing that you saw under department, these options here, is the same thing that you will see under position, okay? Straightforward. So let's go to the areas, okay? With the area, this is very important. In a case where, for example, let's say you have just 2 devices, right? And the other device is supposed to be at the, let's say at the reception. The other one is supposed to be, maybe you have a separate building for the warehouse or maybe the workshop, okay? And people from the warehouse are supposed to clock on that specific device. So this is where the area comes in. So you're going to link your devices to your areas, okay? So the areas will be, let's say, for example, you can say reception is your area, or maybe if you, with regards to different locations, right? You can say, okay, if you have a branch in Centurion, you would say, okay, this is Centurion, and the device that people are going to use to clock will be linked to your Centurion branch. If you have your Johannesburg branch, you will link your device to your Johannesburg branch. So what happens is, if you link your device to maybe Centurion, right? And you have people that are going to be linked to Centurion. So if we link the employees to the area, Centurion, and we link a device that they're going to clock in under the same area. So what the software does is it takes those people that have been linked to the area, push them to the device, okay, with their fingerprints, faces, palm, etc. So everything that belongs to those employees will be pushed to the device as long as these two belong to the same area. So that is how we link employees to devices on where they are going to clock. You need to link the device and the employee on the same area, and the information is pushed automatically on BioTime. Okay, so that is very important. You have a default area that comes with the software, which is called not authorized. So you will remember while we were at the dashboard, you saw the status called unauthorized. Okay, so that status is similar to this area that is called not authorized. So the reason why we have that area is because all the devices that are going to be pointed to the software. So by pointing to the software, I mean the devices are going to have the server's IP and port, and all the settings that needs to be done set on the device will automatically pop up on the software and under the area called not authorized. Okay, I will show you when we move on to the device on what I'm talking about. So if you set up all this information that I'm talking about, the cloud server settings, if the device is connected via Wi-Fi or LAN, and then everything is set up properly, then the devices should pop up under the not authorized area. Then these devices will be waiting for you to authorize them or link them to an area that you would have added. So you need to add more areas here that you're going to link to your devices. Okay, so if you leave your devices here, for example, right? Your devices are not going to, you're not going to see any employee count, no transactions will be pulled from the device to the software. So that device is as good as offline because you won't be able to see any transaction or any employee. So you need to link your device to an area in order for it to push the transactions to the software, and you will be able to see the personnel count or employee count on the device. Okay, so as I said, you need to add an area or other areas that you would like to link your devices to. So I will say, for example, okay, let's say we have our Centurion area, okay? So which means that if we can add people to the Centurion area, employees and device here, these people will be automatically sent to the devices that will be this side, okay? Any questions before I move on?
With area setup, I'm still familiar with it from BioTime 7.0.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can delete an area, you can import. Okay, and then you can also do a personnel transfer. And you can also export from this side. Okay, then this is where you're going to now add your employees. So if you go to your employee there, click on employee, okay, you will be able to now see your employees that you have, or this is where you're going to add your employees. Very straightforward. Okay, so if you click on add, the software will give you the next highest employee ID. You can change that employee ID, but my advice would be do not start with ID numbers starting from 0. So if you have ID numbers starting from 0, for example, I would advise you to maybe you can use a letter first, and then you can put in your 0, 1, 2, 3, for example. The reason why I'm saying this is because our devices are not set in such a way that they will count this 0 as an employee ID, similar to the cards. Okay, so if you have a card number that starts with maybe 00123, the device, what the device does is it cuts the 2 zeros and then it will start from 1, 2, 3. Okay, so our devices start counting from a digit, or they will count the letter. So that's how they communicate. Okay, so it's better for you to start with a letter, or you can just start from 1 going upwards. Okay, then I'm going to add that 6 is okay. And then you put in the name. Okay, I'll say Leah. And then department there, so you can select. You now have a list of departments that you can select from. So are you going to select which department Leah falls under? So I'm going to select, for example, support. Okay, then the area. Okay, so you can select where Leah is going to clock. Is it going to be service center or Centurion? So let's say Centurion, for example. Okay, and then we confirm. So if you would like Leah to still clock in on both, you can still select service center and Centurion at the same time. Okay, and then you click on confirm. Then you have your position, your employment type, official, temporary, or under probation. I'm not going to dwell much on that. And you have other options as well. So you can still add whatever option you want to add, last name, your private information, that will be your local name, gender, etc. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is you go to device access settings. Let's say you're going to use your fingerprint to clock, or you're going to use your card, right? So if you're going to use your card, you can type in the card number if you know that card number, or you can use a take-on reader that enrolls cards. So you can just put the take-on reader on the connected to your PC, you punch your card, and then you will have your card number there. Okay, then I have, let me try with the fingerprint. I have an SLK20. which I'm just quickly going to connect here. Let's see if it's going to work. Okay. So this one is for the fingerprint. Okay. So if you would like to add a fingerprint, you go click on enroll, select the finger that you would like to enroll, select my left one, and then you punch 3 times. Okay. 2, and then 3. Okay. Then it's successful, then you confirm, all right? Then you will be able to see now, okay, it says Leah has 3, yeah, 3 fingerprints. Okay. But I think it should say 1, okay? But yes, I did put in my finger there, right? That is how you enroll. And then you can select now the device privilege. Is Leah going to be just an employee on the device, a register, system administrator, or super administrator? Okay, so you can select that on the system, and then when this information gets pushed through to the device, the device screen is going to lock. If Leah is going to be an administrator, for example, and then Leah is the only one who will be able to access the menu of the device. But if you just set her as an employee, she won't be able to access the menu of the device, okay? Then you have your face quantity. So with this one, I would really advise you to enroll the faces on the device itself. It can be your speed face, it can be any other device that takes faces. You can enroll your face on that device. So what you do is you can add a profile here on the BioTime software, add and link them to an area. Then this information is going to be pushed to the device. Then when you go to your device and edit your user, you can go and add their faces. Okay. So I've added my fingerprint there. And then with the verification mode, I would advise you to leave it as any, unless you would like to change it to maybe fingerprint or password, or fingerprint or password, or any other options that you see there. Okay. Then with this faces here, okay, this one will be your profile photo, and then this one will be your bio photo. So the bio photo will be the one that you're going to use to clock in and clock out on the device, okay? The one that you will enroll on the device. Okay, and then after that, you have your attendance settings. So this is where you need to set up your self-password. So the self-password will be the password that you're going to use if you enable the app for this particular employee. Okay, so with the self-password, you can set up your password here, and you just have to remember that you need to enable the app for this person as well. Okay, so this is where you're going to put in your password. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this will come standard. Enable attendance, yes. Enable overtime, yes, etc. Okay, and if this person falls under any attendance group that you've added, you can select the attendance group if you already added it, but it's not compulsory. Okay, then you go to your app settings. So this is where you enable the app if this person is going to use the app to clock in and clock out. If the person is not going to use an app, you better leave it as disabled. Okay, depending on the license that you have. So if your license says that you only have 2 apps to use, do not enable apps for each and every person that you will add on the software, because you're going to have your error when it comes to your license, and we will have to log in to delete or disable the apps on your software. Okay, then you have your app role. Is this person going to be an administrator on the app or just an employee? So you can select that. Okay, then you have your payroll settings. So this we do not support. So I forgot to tell you that, okay, BioTime doesn't have a direct integration to payroll. So what it does is you will be able to pull out your reports and you can link it to your own payroll. Or you can use what we call API to link to the third-party software. Okay. Then you have your leave group. So with the leave group, right, you need to add it first, then you can add this person on a leave group. Okay. Then after that, you can click on confirm to save the information that you have. Okay. Any questions up to so far?
I wanted to inquire about what is a leave group.
Okay. With the leave group, it comes with leave under attendance. I will show you what I'm talking about, okay, when we go there. So if in a case where, for example, you have a group wherein people are going to take or have taken leave at the same time, you can add them in a group, okay? So after adding them in a group, those people will fall under the same group, and you know that, okay, these people have taken leave or are going to take leave at the same time. So that's it.
Okay, I understand. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Any other question?
That was it for now.
Okay. All right. So under employees, right, you can see that Leah has been added. So you can still resign a person. Let's say, for example, there's one person who resigned and you no longer want to see that person on your system. Okay. So I will just give one person as an example. Let's say number 4 here. Okay. Go to personnel transfer and then you go to resignation. Okay. So you can select what date they resigned, the resignation type, did they quit, terminated, resigned, transferred, or they're going to retain the job without salary. So you can select that. And then you disable the attendance, okay? You disable the person, and then you can put in a reason or whatever remark you would like to add. Okay, so if you click on confirm, for example, you will see that that person has been removed from the employees. But if you go to resign, you will be able to see that person there. Okay, so this will fall under the list of people that resigned. And if you would like to reinstate this person, you can still reinstate them. Okay, you select there and reinstate them. So they will go back again to be part of the employees. Okay. So with the workflow, okay, I'm not going to spend much time on that one, but with the workflow, let's say, for example, this is wherein you create a workflow role. Maybe you have your HR, you have your managers, and those people are responsible for approving leave or overtime. Okay. So
sorry
yes,
to disturb you there. Yes. I wanted to understand, like, if you've given, you've allocated employee numbers, and
yes.
then someone resigns, like totally, you don't really need to reinstate them back.
Yes.
What happens to that employee number that you had initially given them? Can you be able to reuse again, or is completely done?
You can only reuse that employee number if that person is deleted from the system. Okay.
Okay, I see. I understand.
You understand? So if you want to completely remove that person, just delete them from the system.
Okay.
Then you can still use the employee number that you gave to another person that was removed, then you can edit. Because if you do not delete that employee number, that person, the people that are under resigned still have the employee number. Do you understand? So there will be a conflict there. It won't allow you to add the same number as the person that is still there on the BioTime software.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so with the workflow role, so I was still explaining that the people that are going to be added on the workflow role are people that are going to approve or responsible for approval, okay? In this case, most people do not use this function because already they link the software to their own payroll. So the payroll does that for them, okay, with the leave and everything like that. So that's why I'm saying that I'm not going to dwell much on that, but you can create your own workflow. But remember that with approval, they will have to approve on the software itself. So that will be a person that logs into the software and then goes to approvals and then, okay, or to-do list, and then checks that, okay, Rotondwa applied leave, maybe using her own app, and then for this date to this date, and then they approve just like that. Okay, so this is what is going to be used if you would like to use the software for approving leave or anything like overtime. Okay, so but if you have any questions there, you will let me know, then I can go back and explain. Okay, so under personnel, we also have configurations. We have documents. So this document here is in a case where you would like to save your employees, maybe ID copies or license, maybe license, what do we call this? Yeah, license IDs and everything like that. So if, for example, I'm just going to give you an example. Let's say code number 1, and then I'm going to say, okay, ID, right? You confirm. Then if you go to employee, I'm just going to edit one employee so that I can explain what it means. If you go to document, right, and then add, you select there, you will have that ID or the list of documents that you've added. So because I've only added ID there, you select ID, then the certificate number, you can put in any number there. Then you put in your expired date, okay? You can put in the date there. Email alert before, okay? So this can be emailed to you if this has expired. So this would work perfectly for maybe companies that are going to use maybe license registration plates. They can put in the documents there, I don't know, but any other document that they can put there that they will be able to be notified when those expire, then they can use this function here, okay? Then the document, you can upload it here. You can select whatever document you need and then upload it there for record sake, okay? So the other thing is under configuration is custom attribute. So with the custom attribute, these are just attributes that you can link to the personnel. Whatever function or column is not there under person, other employee, still add it under custom attribute. You can add maybe favorite color or any other thing. I'm just giving an example, okay? License number or license registration number. You can add it if it is not there under employees. Then you can add it and put your number there, and then you will have record of that. Then the other thing is the configuration. So this is the employee settings. Employee number, employee ID, you can enable. I think it comes enabled by default. So I think this is mostly the ID numbers. So on other software, what they do is they will give you, okay, this is the number of how long your employee ID can be, etc. Okay, and then order by number. So you will find out that, okay, this what the software does is if you have employee number 1, number 2, maybe number 10, okay, or number 11, when it gives you the order, it gives you order by 1. So it will give you order, everything that belongs to 1, either 10 or 11 will come first before 2. So what you can do is you can set up order by number, then it will give you the orders correctly. Okay. This is what it does. Okay. So any questions while we are still under personnel before we move to device?
I believe we can move on to device. Everything was clear there.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so under device, Or do you want us to take a short break? 5 minutes?
Yes, please, that will help.
Okay. Yeah, let's take a short break. And then, yeah, 5 to 10 minutes, that will be perfect.
No
Then we
problem.
can continue with the device. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, I'm back. Osifo, you let us know if you're back as well.
Hello, yes, I'm back. If you are ready, we can continue.
Okay, yes, we can continue. I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Are you raising your hand?
Oh, sorry, it was earlier. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to continue. All right, so we are going to start with the device, okay? So under device, we have some certain, I wouldn't say rules, some certain settings that you need to do on the device in order for it to communicate with BioTime. So BioTime, unlike the old softwares that we had like Access 3.5 or ZKTime.net, those ones were simple because they communicate to, the device communicates to those softwares via an IP address under Ethernet on the device. So if the device is pinging or if there's communication between the device and the PC, obviously you are going to be able to add the device on those softwares. So with regards to BioTime, what it does is you can be able to ping the device, okay? And see the communication between the device and the PC. But if the cloud server settings, server address or server IP, and the port is not set properly, then you won't be able to pick up the device on the software. So the first thing is you need to check your cloud server settings, which will be your server address / IP and the port. The other thing is on the pamphlet that I shared with you, I don't know if you received it or Sejo, that should be there, okay? The other thing is that you need to make sure that your device is under attendance or TNA instead of access, okay? So those are the things that you need to check. And also, your device HTTPS should be turned off, because now when you install BioTime, there's no option for you to enable the HTTPS. Obviously, the people make a mistake wherein they enable the HTTPS on the device while it is not enabled on the software. So if it is not enabled on the software, you turn it off on the device, okay? And the device should be able, it should be connected. You can ask Osiho.
Yes, can you come again on the HTTPS on the device?
Okay. So when you install BioTime, right? There is no option for you to enable the HTTPS anymore. So the software will be on HTTP, which means that if your device is set on HTTPS and the HTTPS is enabled, there won't be communication between the device and the software. So your device should be HTTPS disabled in order for it to communicate with BioTime. Do you understand?
Very well, thank you.
Yes. And as I said, the device type should be on TNA, not access. Okay? Even when you want to link it to the access module, it should be on TNA. Okay? Then the other thing is, what else? Yeah, so you need to be able to see, okay, if your device is connected via Wi-Fi or LAN, right? There should be a stable connection there, okay? As long as you will be able to ping the device, and if you're going to use, for example, you're using your PC connecting to this device to your PC, you should be able to be on the same network, okay? They should be on the same network, then you will be able to pick it up. If it's on a different network, as I said, the public IP address should be used, okay? So if you set all those things up on the software, okay, on the device, then you should be able to pick up your device automatically. So most of the people will make a mistake of going click on add, and then they will just type in everything there. So if you do that, most of the times your device will always be offline. So we advise you to just make the device pop up automatically on the software, okay? So I have a device here that I've set up to communicate with the software. So I will just restart it so that you can see. So what happens is if you go to your command prompt on your PC, right? And then you check for your PC's IP, I believe you know those things because you've worked with BioTime 7. So you will be able to see your PC's IP. If your device is connected via Wi-Fi, for example, right? You know that, okay, this is the IP address that I'm going to use as the server address on the device. Okay, so you're going to use this number here or this IP address on the device, and the port of the software will be the one that you have selected during the installation. Or what you can do is if you go to open your server, okay, in your service console, I'm just going to quickly open this one so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you open your service console, right, you will be able to see the HTTP port there. So this is the port that we're going to use on the device, okay? So I'm just going to restart the device, as I said, and then connect it. Let's wait for it to pop up. So it should just pop up here, and when it pops up here, it should be under the area not authorized, okay? So as you can see, this one here is offline. The state is offline. Red means offline because it's not connected, or the power is off. Okay, so I'll just wait for mine to come on. Okay, just a second. Okay, there we go. So if you click the on device, I was just refreshing. So you can see that my device is now on. You can see it popped up there, okay? So this is the device that I have with me here. So what you do here is that you go to your auto add, okay? And then under auto add, or before we add this, let me quickly show you something. So if you're using the software for the first time, right? If you go to your configurations, these options here will be turned off. Registration device, enable resign filter, all these options will be turned off. And then here, won't be on this time zone. So you need to select the time zone of the area you are in or you are at. Okay, so you need to select the correct time zone so that your device will not lose time. Then you enable registration device, or you enable everything here and click on submit. Okay, then after that, you can go and add your device. You click on auto add, then you can give your device a name. Okay, let's just say Centurion. Okay, and then you have your serial number. Here, this is very important. The area should be selected, because if you leave it on not authorized, you won't be able to see the employee count, you won't be able to see the transactions. So I'm going to leave it as under service center. Then here the time zone again should be +2, or it should be the time zone of where the device is, okay? And the registration device, I'm going to make it a registration device. So I will explain this. So if you make a device a registration device, if you enroll an employee on that device, the people that you have enrolled will be pushed to the software automatically. Okay, so you're making it a registration device, and then it's going to just push the information to the software. Okay, then you have your request heartbeat. So this is how fast the information will be sent from the device to the software, or transferred from the device to the software. Then that's it. You click on confirm. So you will be able to see now that my device is online, right? So if you go back there on that device, okay, I just want to show you something. You can see that the access module is not there, or enable access is not there, which should be here. If you would like to link this device to the access part or the access module, you should be able to link it here. So I just want to show you how you can enable that. So if you go here, okay, I'm just going to quickly show you. Enable access control. You need to click on this option here so that it pops up this side. So if you go to Centurion again, okay. Doesn't want to show. Okay, just hold on for me. I think I'm missing something, but this is where I should go. Leah will help if I'm missing something, but there should be an option to enable the access control here so that it pops up somewhere there.
Yeah, you found it, Dondi.
I found it.
Yeah. It should be on top of the device IP. Which devices you have here?
Oh, okay. I know why it's not doing it. It's because I'm using a WL30.
Yes, the WL30. You can just log into our web server and then
Yes.
yeah,
I
there
can
we go.
see. I can
Yeah.
see. I can see. Thank you, Mtas. I can see, because you can see that this one is enabled. Can you see? So the WL30 is not for access control. That is the reason why I cannot even see it here. Okay. Thank you for that. Then still under device, so you can see that. What did I do? What did I do here? I cannot see if my device is still online or offline. Okay.
Tondi, please scroll to your right. Scroll to your right. Down
Here.
there. No, with the cat. Okay, you can click there on the window. Okay. Yes. Close the version, the firmware version. The firmware version down.
Oh, yeah,
And
this
untick
one.
it. Yes. Push.
And then push.
And there
Okay,
you go.
perfect. I can see now. And then push protocol. State. Yeah, I want to see the state it does. I can see it now. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will just leave it like this. Okay, so I just wanted to see the state. So you can see that the device is still online, right? And then you will be able to see the transactions on the device and then the user quantity. Okay, so if I can punch on this device, right? If I punch my finger or the finger that I've just enrolled, okay, so this is one of the fingers that I've enrolled. So this information should be able to, yeah, it pops up there on the real-time monitoring. So these are the transactions that you will be able to also see on your attendance, okay? So if you go back to the device, or if you go back to the device, okay, that's fine. I'll just leave it like this, okay? So if we go back to the device, you have an option there to delete a device that you do not want. So if I select this one, for example, and delete, it is gone, okay? You have an option to still add a new area under device, and you can also clear your pending commands on the device itself. So with the data clean, you can clear the attendance on the device, you can clear the captured image, you can also clear all data, but this option here, you should use with caution, because if you clear all the data, you're clearing all the transactions as well, okay? Then you have your data transfer. So this is where you can upload your user data, okay? You can upload your transactions, and you can also sync the data to the device, okay? So with uploading, you are moving the transactions from the device to the software. Then you have your device menu where you can report the device remotely without going to the device itself. You can read the information on the device, you can enroll remotely, and you can also set a duplicate punch on the device, okay? So with the upgrade firmware part, we would not advise you to do any of that. You need to let us know what your device is doing. Why do you want to upgrade the firmware, so that we will advise you better here in support. Okay, Osefo, you can ask.
Can you explain to me the duplicate punch?
Okay. So with the duplicate punch, you can add that duplicate punch on the device itself or through the software, okay? So what happens is, if you set a duplicate punch, let's say 1 minute, okay? When an employee comes in and punches on the device, okay, within a minute, let's say I'm punching my face and then it accepts my face or my fingerprint. If I punch in less than 1 minute, that is set for the duplicate punch, it will tell me it's a duplicate punch because I've already punched my finger. So if you enable the duplicate punch, you're trying to prevent a lot of transactions a lot of clockings on the same time to be pushed to the software or to the attendance of the software. Okay, because imagine if you have a person clocking in within a minute and you have 10 clock-ins at the same time. So you try and prevent that by setting a duplicate punch that, okay, within a minute, right, a person should clock once and then they can clock again after a minute. Do you understand?
Yes, very clear. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. So that is what duplicate punch is all about. Then you have your device commands here. So the device commands, okay, I'll have to log in again. Okay. Okay, with the device commands, you can still clear them from this side. So you will be able to see the commands that are being pushed to the software, okay? Then you can also delete these commands if you want to, okay? Then you have your message. So with regards to the message, not all the devices have that option. So when you want a message to be on the device, you need to let us know if or give us the information of your device so that we can tell you if that device will be able to take a message or not, because that needs to be enabled. It doesn't come standard on all the devices. We need to enable that on the devices. So you need to give us the information of the device, the platform, and then we can let you know that, okay, this we can enable on your device, then you will be able to set your messages. So the messages is that message that can be displayed on the screen of your device, wherein, for example, if people are coming in with the public message, if people are coming in on the device, there will be a message displayed there saying that, okay, everyone report to the boardroom or everyone report to the assembly. Okay, that is a public message. It can be seen by everyone. So when it comes to the private message, this message can only be seen by that one person. So that if the person clocks in on a device, okay, whether they have to clock in on 2 devices, if any device that that person will clock on will display the message after they clock in that, okay, please report to the boardroom or happy birthday, for example. Okay, so these are the messages that can be displayed on the screen of your device. It can be a public or a private message. Okay, and then you have your data. So with the data here, you have your employee, okay? So you will see the number of employees that you have there or that have been pushed to the device here, okay? Then you have your work code. So if you use work codes, okay, you will be able to see that. Let's say with work codes is, for example, let's say you have contractors that are working in different sites. So you will have a work code or a code that is used for maybe a site in Lipalale or another code that is used for a site in Centurion. Okay, so then with those codes, they know that, okay, this person was working here. This person was working here. Okay, that is what we call work codes. And then we have again what we call bio templates. Okay, so the bio templates will be your fingerprints. You have your biotype, will be your fingerprints. It can be the fingerprints that you have there will be given you the version that was used to enroll. And then you will have your bio photo as well. So with the bio photo, that is if you're going to use your photos to clock in and clock out. There you can see your bio photos, and you can also see your transactions on a specific device or within a certain date, okay? These same transactions that you see here are the ones that are going to be pushed to the attendance module. So whatever you see here should come to the attendance module, and you will be able to get your reports according to the transactions that you have. Okay. Then you have your log. So we have operation log, we have your error log, you have your upload log, and your command logs. So this is where you can be able to see all the logs of what happened to the device. This is what happened to the device, or the errors that happened, etc. And then with the mobile app, okay, so you can create here your mobile app account. Okay, so if you already have a mobile app linked to the software, you will be able to see the information here. Okay, this is where again you will be able to see your operation log, what is happening to the apps, or who has the app enabled. Okay, you will be able to see the list here. And also on the same mobile app, you have what we call the geofence. So the geofence is only applicable where you would like to use a location, or you want people to log in or clock in and clock out in a certain location. So this is where you can set up your location setup, and then you need to have your longitude and your latitude. But if you also type in the location there, it will give you the area or the longitude and the latitude of the area that people are supposed to clock on. Okay, so it means that if the person is out of that location, then they won't be able to clock. Okay. Then you can also set up your employee. So you can add now that, okay, this employee should be able to clock in that location. This employee should be able to clock in a certain location. So this is for the app. Okay. Then you have your configuration. So this is what I've explained initially. So if you have any questions on the device, please let me know.
With devices, I believe on my side I'm okay, but
Okay.
I think everything was clear.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we can go to the attendance, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's move over to the attendance module. So with the attendance module, right, this is where you're going to now add your break times, your shift. So it has everything that has to do with HR, I would say so, okay? Setting up your timetables, your shifts, and pulling out your reports, okay? So remember that I showed you the transactions on the device. So if you want a simplest report that you can get out of BioTime, you go to your transaction report without even setting up any timetable or shift or anything. What you do is you go to your transaction report, you pull out your transaction report. So you can select if you want your transaction like this. You can select which department you would like to pull out the transactions from. Then you can get all your transactions from the software. Okay, then you have your time card and your first and last. So with the first and last, this one gives you the first clocking and the last clocking. Okay. It will give you the first clocking and the last clocking, and then it will calculate the overall time. Okay, like this. So this can be exported using the 4 formats that I've explained. So this is the simplest report that you can pull out without setting any timetables and shifts. The other reports that you will be able to see here, you need to set timetables, shifts, and assign those shifts to your employees. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. Okay, I will go back to this workbench. So BioTime has made it simple for you to understand where you need to start. Okay, so you can see that you need to set your break times first. So with the break times, right, if this will differ according to the company. or per company. Not all the information will be applicable on all the companies that you might install for, okay? So when it comes to the attendance side, people might have different break times. Some might have lunch, some might not take lunch. Some might have flexible timetables, some might have regular or normal timetables, okay? So if you click on the break time thing, you will be able to go and set up your break times according to the break times that are applicable in the company. So if you click on add, for example, right, you will be able to see that, that you can put in the name of the break time. So I'm just going to give it an example. Let's say lunch, okay? And then the calculation type. Do you want your break time minutes or hours to be automatically deducted from your employees' working hours? Or do you want them to punch each and every time they go for their break? So you will select which one you prefer. So if you select auto deduct, for example, it doesn't matter if they are going to punch or not. They actually do not have to punch. The hours that are assigned to the lunch will be automatically deducted from the employee's working hours, okay? So if, for example, they are given 60 minutes or an hour for lunch, each and every person's 60 minutes will be deducted from their time of work, okay? So if you select punch time is required, it means that they have to break out and they have to break in each and every time they go for their break. Okay, so you can see that when you select punch time is required, you have the third option there. Okay, so if you go to break settings, the software also gives you an option to put in a range where, for example, let's say you have a company wherein people are not supposed to go to lunch at the same time. You can put in a range. I'm just going to give you an example. Let's say from 12 until 2. Okay, so we have a group of people that will go out between 12 and 1, and then others will go out between 1 and 2. Okay, but out of the range, you're going to give them only 60 minutes. So it means that they're only given 1 hour for their break time. Okay, so when you go to your rule settings, you can leave this punch state as no. Okay, the reason why I'm saying this is because if you make it yes, it means that if this person goes and clocks on the device and this punch state doesn't say breakout, okay, you will not be able to see that punch on the reports because it needs you to be it is strict that it needs you to select breakout. So if you leave it as no, whether it's check out and then when they come back it will be check in, it will then the lunchtime will still be displayed on your report. So you can leave this one as no. And then punch settings will be, for example, if a person came early, instead of taking their 60 minutes break, they took maybe 30 minutes or 15 minutes. Do you want that person's minutes to be calculated as overtime or regular working hours, etc.? So it will depend on if you want to assign this to this information here, okay? Then you also have an option for late in. So if a person came late from their break time, let's say they came in 2:15, 15 minutes after their supposed lunch, okay? You can say, okay, if you come back 15 minutes after or later, then this should be assigned to late in, or this should be assigned to early out, or this should be assigned to absence, okay? So it will depend on how strict you are. Okay, then you can click on your confirm to add your break time. So this is how you add your break time. Okay, then the next thing will be your timetable. Okay, from your workbench, if you go again, you need to set your timetable. From the timetable, right? You have two types of timetables. You have your normal timetable, you have your flexible timetable. Okay, so for timetables that are not complicated, right? I would advise you to go for normal timetable. So we have shifts that are so complicated in such a way that you will not be able to know which times you need to put in there. So with those ones, I would advise you to use a flexible timetable. Okay, or with flexible timetables, or if people are working flexible times, then you need to set up your flexible timetables. Okay, then again, as I said, different clients will have different requirements. So if you set it up today for maybe an 8 to 5 Monday to Friday job, tomorrow you might have to set another timetable, which is, for example, they're working 6 days in a week, and then when they're working 6 days in a week, they're working day shift and night shift. So you need to play around with such to be able to meet the client's requirements. Okay, so I will start with the normal timetable. Okay. So with the normal timetable, you will be able to see that under basic settings, you have a lot of rules. You have your check-in time, you have your check-out time, okay? So let's say, for example, our check-in time here will be 8 o'clock, and then the check-out time is 5, okay? Then you have your check-in start time. So with the check-in start time, this is where you give your employees an exception. Those people that maybe are taking bus, they come in early and they cannot maybe not clock. So you can allow them to still clock earlier, which most of the people will ask, does this 1 hour or maybe 30 minutes, is it going to be counted as working hours? No, it is not going to be calculated as the total hours worked, because the check-in should start at 8 and then check out at 5. It's just that this one, we're allowing them to still clock even though they came early, unless you would like to allocate that 1 hour to overtime. You can still do that, okay? And then you have your checkout start time. You can still select whatever time you would like. So in a case like this, you might find out that, okay, there are people that might leave a bit early due to emergencies or something like that, okay? Then you have your check-in end time. So this will be for people that might come late. So you're giving them an exception to clock in at the certain time, or not later than that time. So it means that if you're giving them an exception, you will still have your late in reports. Whoever comes in after 8 will fall under a late in, okay? Then you have your checkout end time, which will be this one. But in a case where, for example, we have people that are supposed to stay behind and work overtime, you can state, you can put in the maximum time that a person is supposed to be at work. They can still stay and work overtime, which means that anything after 5 will be calculated as overtime. Okay, then you can select the color that you want there and confirm. Okay, so with the break time, you can select your break time here. You just have to take a break in order to link it to a timetable. Then you have your unscheduled time settings and overtime. So these work hand in hand. If you do not have overtime, do not open these options. If you have your overtime, then you need to set up these options here. So early in, so you're going to set up, okay, if a person came early, these hours should be calculated as overtime, okay? So if they come early, let's say you want it to be calculated as overtime, you select your overtime then, okay? And this should start calculating from the first maybe minute or first 15 minutes they came in, or after 15 minutes while after clocking in, then it should be calculated as overtime, which means that if a person clocks in at 7, the overtime will start calculating from 7:15. Okay. Then you also have your late outs, wherein you will say, okay, a person who goes out late then should also be calculated as overtime. And that should be maybe 15 minutes after the clock out time, which means that it should be 15 minutes or 5:15, then overtime kicks in. Okay, so do you understand the basics? Are you following, or do you want me to repeat some things?
No, that's clear. I had a question on you see, the type of installation that I do mostly are
Yes.
for retailers. So
Retailers.
yeah, retailers
Yes.
sometimes
Yes.
they will do stock take,
Yes.
and it can go beyond another day. And then I was wondering, how are
Yes.
we going to
To
calculate
work with
overtime on
that.
such?
Okay.
Yes.
So with that one, right? With the retailers, if they're working until the next day, it's simple. You can cross over. Can you see? You have what we call crossover. So you can cross over to the next day. But I believe, do they work night shift, or is it only night shift when they are counting stock? Normally,
Mostly when they are counting stock.
when they're counting stock. Okay, so when they're counting stock, right, you can just say, okay, for you can cross over, like maybe they do not have maybe dates when they should count stock or not. But I believe that on the same timetable, just allow that timetable to cross over to the next day. Otherwise, if you don't want it to be like that, then you need to set up a specific timetable for those days. But a flexible timetable would also work much better. Okay. But no, I think for that one, you can just say cross over to the next day. So if you cross over to the next day, right, you need to put in the times, the correct times here. That is why I say the flexible timetable would work for those days that they are counting stock. If you have record of the days that they will be counting stock, you can add a flexible timetable for that, instead of just adding a normal timetable, and then you need to change the times here and the times here as well, and it's going to affect your reports. A flexible timetable would work much better. Do they have specific times of going to break, or they just go to break anytime?
Breaks, they will go anytime,
Anytime,
depending
yes.
on the shifts they are allocated to.
Yes.
And then for I forgot the question. Just hold on.
Because I really think for retail, a flexible timetable would be perfect, because what a flexible timetable does is, let's say you have put in the time from maybe 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., right? Or
Yes.
process over to the next day. It will give you the reports according to what times they clocked in. And if you enable the multiple in and out, whatever times they were out of the shop, let's say they clock out, go outside, maybe come back after an hour, it deducts the hour that they were not inside the premises, okay? Or they were not working, and gives you the remaining hours as the worked hours. So I think that
Okay.
would work perfectly.
The one that I sorry,
Yes.
the one that I encountered, they will work a normal shift on that day, let's say
Yes.
8 or 5, and
Yes.
then afterwards they will start their stock take.
Okay, afterwards they start that stock take, but it's not every day. Is that correct?
It's not every day. It's, yeah, it's
Yes.
as and when.
Yes. That is why I'm saying, okay, you can either opt for, okay, adding a normal timetable, and for specific days that they are working now overtime, right? You add or link that timetable to a shift for those days to calculate the times that they worked overtime. Or you go for a flexible timetable once and for all. To avoid,
let's say you can put them in a normal timetable for that
yes,
day, and
yes.
then after they work, because what they do mostly, it's after the normal working hour, it
Yes.
should start overtime right away for the stock take. Let's say maybe the
Oh,
stock take,
yes. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
I think I
If
get
the
you.
stock if the stock take ends the
Mhm.
following day at 6 o'clock,
Yes.
then right there it has to calculate overtime from 5 the
Cor-
previous day up to
Yes,
6 the following day.
correct. As long as you made it cross over here. You know what you can do, right? You can just do like this. You go to unscheduled, as I said, okay? And then you can start, you can say from the start of their overtime. And then when you set your overtime here, okay? You say you enable your overtime, you go to, I'll just say OT1. And then here, they're supposed to work from 7 to, if it's from 8 to 5, it's 8 hours, right? 9 hours, okay? So it means that anything after the 9 hours, okay, should be calculated as overtime until, we can just say 24, okay? So it means that anything after the 9 hours that they're supposed to work is going to be calculated as overtime until the time they end their work. So anything after 5 will be calculated as overtime. That's very simple to understand, yes. So I think this will work for you.
Yes,
Instead
no,
of
very
going
well.
for a
Thank you.
flexible timetable, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is where you will set your overtime. I've never worked with BioTime 7 before. I don't know if it still looks like this one. But this is where you set it up, okay? And then you have your rule settings. So under rule settings, this is where you're going to set in your clock in is required. So this comes standard. Allow late in. So if you would like them to maybe start being calculated as late after 10 minutes or 15 minutes, this is where you're going to set it up. Otherwise, you can leave it as is, okay? And then, okay, just going to write test and then confirm, okay? So this is, oh, let me stop this one. Now it's giving me so many hours. Yes. Okay. So that is how you're going to add your normal timetable. So with the flexible timetable, this one doesn't give you an option to select your break time, okay? So you just put in the times, check in time, check out time, you put in the hours that they're supposed to work, and you set up your overtime. That's it. So it doesn't have break. As I said, on this one, you can just add a multiple in and out, which means that you will be able to see that, okay, this person left or went outside for an hour and then they came back after this time. And then what the software is going to do is it's going to subtract all the time that the person was outside. And then it gives you the worked hours as the one that that person was inside the office. Okay, so this will work perfectly fine if you want to assign a flexible timetable to your employees. Okay. Do you understand the flexible one? Or do you want me to explain further?
Now the flexible one, I understand it. It was there on BioTime 7.0.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so after adding your timetable, right? If you go back there to your workbench, you will be able to see now that, okay, the next thing is to add a shift. Okay, so you go add your shift. I'm just going to give it a name, test again. And then on the shift, you can select the unit, whether a day, a week, or a month, and then the cycle as well. Okay, so I would prefer a week. It depends on who you are setting it up for. Okay, so if it's a week like this and then it cycles once, it means that it will continue to cycle each and every time as long as you have assigned certain dates. So let's say, for example, you're going to assign a shift from January this year until 2028. It will still cycle itself until then. Okay, so what you do is you enable the auto shift, you select the timetable, you add up the days that people are supposed to be working. So if they are working Saturdays and Sundays, you should also add the timetables on those days. So let's say they have a separate timetable or separate time for Saturday and Sunday. You can still add your Saturday timetable and your Sunday timetable and link it to those days on the shift. Okay, then after that, you click on confirm. And the next thing here will be your assignment, assigning the shift to your employees. But before we go there, I want to show you something, okay? Under rule. So if you go to your rule, we have the global rule, department rule, and group rule. So the global rule is the rule that is going to be applicable to everyone, okay? So under global rule, if employees are working Saturdays and Sundays, I think by default, it will come as like this, okay? It will say weekend 1 Saturday, weekend 2 Sunday. So if they are working Saturday and Sunday, you need to make sure that it is none on both, okay? Because if you make weekend Saturday and Sunday, it is not going to calculate the times that they worked if you assign the timetable to those days. So just make it none, and then it will calculate the times according to the timetable that you set for the weekend. Okay. Okay, then after that, what you need to do is we've added the shift here. The thing that you need to do now is to add or assign that shift to your employees. So you can add per department or assign per department, per group, employee, or you can add a temporary shift as well, or temporary schedule. So what you do is if you go add, right, you will have a list of departments that you have there. So you can click on the department and then you select the shift. Then you can start, okay, I want this to start from January, depending on when they started clocking in, until let's say next year, okay? Then you confirm. So we're saying that they will be working on the same shift until next year, this time. Okay, so you can see, okay, we have 2 employees that have been assigned to this shift, and then when you calculate your reports, it should give you the correct times. If those people were clocking in and clocking out, okay? So you can also do the same for the group, the employee, and you can also add a temporary schedule here. Okay, then if you would like to view who has been assigned to which shift, you can go and view by person, and then you can select, okay, that this person has been assigned to this shift for these days until when. So you will be able to see that. And also, you will be able to see, for example, if a person has applied leave for that day, you will be able to see the leave appearing there. Okay. So this is how you see. And then after this, the only thing that is left for you to do if people are clocking in and clocking out and you would like to pull out your reports is to calculate, okay? So if you go to calculate, you will be able to calculate your times and then you can pull out your reports, okay? So on the calculation side, it's under configurations, you go calculation, and then you can select who you want to calculate for, and then from what date to what date, and then you calculate. So it is very important for you to calculate before you pull out a report in order for you to get the accurate results. Okay, then after this, you can now pull out your reports. So we have a list of reports that you can think of from daily, weekly, monthly, summary, etc. Okay, but before we go to those reports, I would like to quickly share something with you. Okay, so approvals, right? So we have what we call manual logs, okay? So manual logs are the logs that you can add. Let's say, for example, the device was offline or something happened to the device. Maybe there's no electricity and the device went off. I understand that there can be a backup, but let's say, for example, it went off for long periods, okay? Then you would like to log in manually for your employees. If you go to your manual log, you can still add manual logs, check in, check out, break in, break out for those employees that you have. So you can go bulk add and then you select the employees or employee, for example. Then you select the punch time. Let's say, for example, this person was here yesterday at 7, okay? Or let's say 8. Confirm. And then that was a check-in. And then you can auto approve or leave it as disabled so that the people who are supposed to approve can approve, but you can still enable it there and then confirm, okay? So you will be able to see that this person has a check-in. So this is what we mean by manual log, okay? Then again, you can also create a checkout, break in, etc. And these clockings will be you will be able to see them on transaction report, and the source will be manual log. So whether a person clocked in on the app, on the device, or you added a manual log, you will be able to see the source. That, okay, this was a manual log, this was a clocking from a device, this was a clocking from the app. You will be able to see that. Okay. And still under your approvals, we also have what we call leave. So this is where you can add a record for leave days that people are taking or that people have taken. Okay. So you can also import the information. Let's say you have an Excel spreadsheet, you can still import that information here. Otherwise, you can also go add. Let's say this person again took leave from maybe today, and that leave is an annual leave. So you can just leave the time there. I'm just going to select today, confirm, and let's say it's tomorrow. Okay, confirm. Okay, and then this leave is an annual leave. Okay, you can keep record of that, and then you confirm. Then you have your record that this person took leave from this date to this date, and then it was an annual leave. It is a sick leave, you can also have your record as well. Okay. So with the overtime, you can also apply for overtime if the company wants people to apply for overtime first, which is still similar to how you apply for your leave or your manual log. So the training one doesn't work, so leave it out. But these three are working perfectly fine, okay? So anything, any question with regards to the approvals or whatever I've discussed before I move on to the benefit management?
With approvals, they are okay because they were there on BioTime 7
On
as well.
BioTime 7, okay.
Yeah, but you do have multi-level approval in this one, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes. Okay.
that's fine then.
And also the benefit management, right? So under benefit management, this is where you're going to add your leave group. You have your leave group, you have your holiday. Okay. Remember you asked me about the leave group at first. So this is where you can add your leave group. Okay. You can give it a name, and then you can add people on that leave group. Okay. And then when they apply for leave, you can assign them on, if they're taking the leave at the same time, you can assign them at once, okay? So it means that if you add your leave group here, when you go to personnel, if you want to assign a person to a specific leave group, then you can assign them there or link them to that specific group, okay? So under benefit management as well, we also have holiday. So remember that BioTime doesn't have record of the holidays of the year. So it means that you need to add your own holidays here under holidays, and then you need to enable your overtime. If your employees are going to come and work overtime, this is where you're going to enable them to come work on those days, okay? So if, for example, we have in South Africa, I don't know, the holidays in Botswana, but in South Africa, we have a holiday coming up on the, I think it's the 21st of March, which is Human Rights, okay? So I'll just give you an example. Remember Human Rights Day, like this, okay? So Human Rights Day is on the 21st of March, 21st of March. And then if you would like to enable overtime for that day, you enable your overtime, and then you put in your holiday overtime, and then you put in the hours. So if people are going to be able to work from the first hour they work as overtime until, let's say, for example, I'm just going to give an example. Let's say 8 hours. That's the maximum hours they're supposed to work on a holiday. You make it 8 hours. So anything that they work, any hour, can be 2 hours, 3 hours, that is going to be calculated as overtime for that specific day. And under advanced, you select maybe the department that is going to work on that specific day. If all the departments are going to work on that specific day, you select all the departments, okay? Then you click on confirm, like that. Okay, so that is how you add your holiday and you add your overtime for that specific holiday. And the other thing with holiday, right? Under rule, you also have what we call overtime rule. So this is where you can also add your overtime. You enable it and put in the same information that you put under the benefit management, okay? So with the weekend and the weekly overtime, I'm not going to talk about them because I've explained the one on the timetable. I believe it's better for you to add a daily on the timetable, a daily overtime on the timetable. Then that will calculate perfectly fine for you, okay? Another thing is, okay, so let's go to the report, okay? So as I've explained the transaction, so this doesn't need you to set any timetables, etc. So the only reports that will require your timetables and shifts is the daily report, weekly reports, monthly reports, and the summary report, okay? So from the reports that we have here, as I said, you need to calculate, then you can pull out your reports depending on the transactions that you have. So if employees were clocking in and clocking out, you will have your reports. If they were not, then you will just have your blank spaces like this. Okay, so you can see here, I think, yeah, I'm just going to use this one as an example. let's say from the 20th. Okay. Okay, so I'll just use this one as an example, okay? So the clock in and clock out, you'll be able to see like this, okay? So the clock in is this, the clock out is this is the worked hours, total hours worked, and then this is the worked hours, okay? And then these are, I think I was testing this previously, and then the breakout and the break in is this time, so it will show you that, okay, this person took 1 hour of the break, okay? Then if there's any overtime or anything like that, you will be able to see your overtime here. But with this report, right, you can see there are a lot of columns that you can see there. You can remove all these columns that you do not want and leave only the ones that are important to you. This is a total time card report. Okay. I'm just going to remove this so that I can show you. Okay, so you can remove whatever column that you do not want, okay, like this. And then okay, and leave only what you want. So you can save by clicking on that arrow there, and then you can leave whatever you want, okay, like this. So it depends on what kind of report you are looking for, right? Then you can export this by using that arrow, and then you have these 4 formats to use. So as I said, you have a lot of reports that you can play around with. You have your worked hours, you have your overtime report, your leave report, late in report. You have a lot of reports that you can play around with. So it's better for you to just see which report works best for you. And I believe that if, for example, you can install this software on your PC, you have a 60-day trial period. So for 60 days, you can play around with the BioTime software and see how it works. You will be able to see the different kinds of reports that you can pull out from this software. Okay, if you have a device, you can also add a device, add manual logs, see how the reports look like. And I believe that if you'll be able to see how the reports look like, then you will be able to know which reports you will use when you have a certain client or a certain customer. Okay, so do you have any questions on the report side?
In terms of report, it's all clear. But what I wanted to say, just as you say, that software gives you 60 days to maybe I can play around with.
Yes.
In case maybe I get a hiccup, I can
Yes.
maybe always inquire from your email if
Yes.
it's possible.
Correct.
Okay.
So please feel free to let me know if you're playing around with the software and you have a question, right? Let me know. I will be able to assist. Okay.
Okay. So in terms of the license,
Yes.
I can easily download it from your website, isn't it?
You mean the license for the software?
Yes.
I think we do have a trial license there, but it's not permanent, remember? So with the license that, remember I said, if, for example, you purchase a device, right?
Yes.
And you only want to add 1 or 2 devices on the software, that license should be free. And it should come from the distributor that sold the devices to you. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. So we only have a trial license on the website, I think. that will still expire. So you just need to get a license from the distributor. If you have a device, then you're good to go. So you don't have to purchase a license for 2 or 1 devices or 1 device.
Okay. So
3 or more.
what happens?
Mm.
Sorry about that. What happens if maybe I encounter a client that maybe they already bought some devices, let's say 2 devices from somewhere, and
Yes.
then they only need my services to install a software for them? What
Okay,
happens with the
so
license?
with that regards, if they already bought the device, I would really advise you to go to that distributor where they bought the devices from. Okay. Because the problem is that we will need we do not give you licenses from ZKTeco to an installer. It needs to come from the distributor. You understand?
Okay.
We need the PO from the distributor, then we can issue the free license, then they issue it to you.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Clear.
All right. Then you have your, okay, let me quickly go through the access control module quickly. Okay, so if you would like to link your device to the access control, right? Remember, this one doesn't want to add because it doesn't support access control. So if you would like to enable access control on your device, you will have that option there. And the device, you click on enable access control, then it will pop up here. So as I said, the access control module doesn't have it's not advanced as compared to BioCV, which is an access control software. So what happens is that on this access control module, you will be able to create your time period. So by time period is that, okay, I would like to allow people to access this door between this time and this time, okay? So you add your time period there. Okay, well, this is the time that they're going to access. You will be able to see here, you have your times and the end time. So it's like giving access levels. If you know about access 3.5 or ZK BioCV, you will know about access levels. So you give them access within a certain time period. Okay, so this software can still do that. But as I said, it's not that advanced as compared to the access control softwares. So you can create your time period that, okay, Rotondo is supposed to access between 7 and 8. Anything after that, this person is not allowed to access the premises. And holiday. So with the time period on the holiday side, you can also enable access during holidays. So this holiday will work hand in hand with the holidays that you've enabled here, which means that if you said the support department is the one that is going to work on the 21st of March, which is a holiday, you need to enable them to access the premises on that specific holiday. Okay, so this is where you're going to add them. You add a holiday and then you add your time period that, okay, they will be able to access during this holiday at this time. Then the other thing is that you can also do that the groups, okay? This group is supposed to access during this time. And then after that, you have a privilege. So with privilege, this is the way you're going to give them access now. As I said, access levels. So you give them access that, okay, Rotondo is going to access at this time on this door, etc. Okay. So same apply to combination. So combination is like multi-person open or operation wherein a combination of people are allowed to open a door. Like for example, if you don't want one person to open a door, then you want alone, then you set 2 people to open a door. So this is normally used for vault doors wherein they keep money. So a person is not allowed to open, one person is not allowed to open the door. So at least 2 people should be there for the door to open. So that is what access control on BioTime can do. Okay, so the other important thing on BioTime is that you need to make sure that you can set a an automatic backup, or you backup your system in case anything happens, okay? So where do we now backup our database, okay? So under system, if you go to database, right, you can backup your information here. Okay, so if you go to click on backup, you have backup automatically, or you can do a manual backup. This is also where you can restore your backup if you maybe moved to another PC and you have a backup from the other PC, then you can restore it. Okay, very important. You can set your manual backup, automatic backup here. It can be monthly thing, it can be weekly, or it can be daily. Okay. Then you also have to back up your photos if you are using photos to clock in and clock out. Then you can also do a manual backup. So this one will just back up now. If I click there and confirm, it will make a backup just now, okay, for everything that I've done. So it's simple for you to go back and restore that database, okay? And also, you can create, I don't know if on the old software it had it, user accounts. So in a case where you would like different people to access the server, you can create different user accounts. They can log in using their own credentials here, okay? So you can create a person's user account. If that person is not an admin, you can remove and add them with a password, their names, etc. Okay. So this software can still do that. And also, if you, for example, you would like to pull out reports automatically, like reports being pulled to the email or as a person's email, you can set that auto export, okay? So this is what we call auto export. You can go to attendance report, and then you can set up the report. So you need to create a template under report, wherein you can select the template. If it's maybe absent report, you need to create a template under absent report, and then you set it up here. Then you go to your export time settings. Do you want it to be sent daily, weekly, or monthly? Then you also have your export path. This is where you're going to put in your person's email, which means that that report will be sent to that person's email each and every week or each and every month, okay? Depending to what you have selected. So if you have any questions, I think I've covered almost all the important aspects of the BioTime software. So as I said, if you have any questions or you're playing around with the software, you are stuck, you can let me know and I will be able to assist you, okay? But if you have any questions for now, you can give me the questions.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the restoration and migration.
Yes, yes.
Let's say I've installed this on a server, and then maybe that server crashes.
Yes.
And then I do a reinstallation. So
Yes.
reinstallation automatically means that I'm going to have to apply for another license so I can still use the same license that I was sent at first, or
okay. So with PC crashing or software crashing, right? You're going to use the same license that you had. You don't have to purchase another license. So what we're going to do is we'll just need that license file. Obviously, you will receive it from a distributor through an email, or you just have that code. We refresh it for you, okay? Then we can send it through to you, and then you're going to activate it on another PC. It will still work perfectly fine. You don't have to purchase another license. And with the restoration, as I said, you need to make a backup, and then you can restore that backup on another PC. So it's safe. If, for example, you know the path where your backup is saved, then you pull out that backup, and then we can restore it on the other PC. Okay. Or did I answer your question, or do you still need clarity on that one?
No, it's very clear. It's okay. I understand
okay.
now.
Okay. Any other question?
Another question may be on the users, like we do have multi-level administrators.
Yes.
So I believe that's where you can define them on the users.
Okay, so you mean on the software, right?
Yeah.
Giving
Just
them
like
access on the software.
it can be access and approvers.
Okay. So with the, do you mean approvals like leave or something like that?
Yes, you see, approvals has to be done by super administrators.
Yes. So that, remember, under personnel, right? I'll have to. Okay. With regards to approvals, right? Remember when we went to personnel, I spoke about workflow. Workflow. So this is where you add your workflow roles. Let's say, you can say admin, or you can say HR or anything like that, okay? And then I'm going to add again. Okay, so when you go to your workflow builder, right, you can add for a department. So if, let's say, for example, if anyone in support, sorry, applies for leave, or yeah, let's say applies for, okay, a manual lock or training or overtime, okay? This, let's say from this date, I'll just say from today until, can be December or whatever, okay? Then the approval scope should be, so you can select now, okay, who should approve first or who should be notified. So if I say, okay, the HR should be the first person to approve, for example, and then should be the person or both of them should be notified. I'm building now a scope, okay? So I add again that, okay, the second person or the last person to give approval or the last approval should be the admin. So it will depend on who you assign to be that admin, okay? You confirm. Okay. Okay. So you need, remember, you just have to assign people to be on this. You need to select the admin and you assign a person to that admin role, okay? Which means that that is the person that is going to give approvals whenever the manual locks are applied or whenever the leave is applied, depending on what you have selected, okay? So that is the workflow builder. And then with the logins, right, with access to the software, you do it here. So under group, this is where you can select now. Let's say you went and installed the device to maybe a building wherein you don't want them to access the device and maybe some of the modules here. So what you do is you give them access to what they need access to. If it's the HR, for example, you give them access to the reports or whatever attendance module they need to. And then maybe if they also have to enroll, or if you have a specific person to enroll personnel, then you can also give them access to personnel. Then you can name your your group there. I'm just going to say test. Okay, which means that if I name it test, when I go and add a user, right? I'm going to remove this. When I go add a user, I don't need to make this person a super user. I'm going to give them authorization according to what I've selected there. So I will give them test, which means that this person is only going to be able to access the attendance module. Then you create the username and the password for that person. You confirm the password, and then the areas that they can access the personnel information or whatever report they're going to access, and the department as well. Okay, and then you confirm. So that's it. So I don't know if maybe I've answered your question, or maybe you have any other question to ask.
No, it's okay. I understand. What I need to do mostly is practical work now.
Yes.
So in any case, if I get stuck, I'll keep on inquiring from you.
Okay, not a problem. Okay. Okay, so overall, are you good with the training today? Then you will ask questions where you get stuck.
Perfectly good. Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Seko, that will be it for today. Okay. As I said, you have questions, please let me know. I've sent you the training register and the feedback form. Please fill that in and send it back to me. I also sent you that, what do we call it? A customer handout, okay? So it has information regarding BioTime. I'll also share the training video for today with you, right? So that you can refer to. Please just send back the registration form and the feedback form so that we can create the certificate for you, right? Then I think that will be it. Yes. Thank you so much for attending the training today. I know that we were supposed to give you training last week and things happened. So we really appreciate your attendance.
I do understand that. I really appreciate for your time.
Yes.
And then I'm having a challenge with my printer this side. Can I be
Okay.
able to send them by tomorrow?
Yes, it's okay. You can send them tomorrow. That's perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
My pleasure. Likewise.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.